Today we're going to be doing something a little bit funky and more creative. We are using a triangle shaped punch to make different styles of chevron shapes. So I have three different types, literally on my fingers here, three different types of chevrons that I'm going to be showing you today. We're going to do a negative space chevron tip, which has a space between the colors of your naked nail. We're going to be doing a single layer and also a triple layer of chevron shape. So I'm going to show you several different ways to do that in this video, and you can mix and match. You can do all one of the same style manicure, whatever really feels right to you. So let's get started. I'm going to be showing you several different chevron looks. So you can mix and match these looks. You can do one of the looks or however you'd like, but I'm going to show you several different ones in the same video just to kind of show you a couple of different variations that you can do with this. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a triangle punch. I believe this is a 5/8 inch or mini. I will put the link below to which size this one is. I like to use scissors, and I also like to have some sticky notes just to help me grip the strips. Today I'm going to use the Retired Nevada Neon color. We do have a new spring set that just came out that is a bright pink that would work great. I just happen to have had some leftovers and figured it would work in this case. The new Blue Dappist. This is a neon color from the new Spring 2020 line, or I guess Summer 2020 collection. The Belgian Buttercup is what I'm going to use, which is Spring 2020 for the yellow set. Old Lima Lemons would be a really good color for this because it is a really, really bright yellow, or Electric City. And I'm sure there are some in the future that'll work. So really, I'm just using a yellow, a blue, and a pink color to make this look. But you can use whatever color works for you. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with kind of the simplest one, and I'm going to use the Belgian Buttercup as my base, and I'm going to use the Nevada Neon as the chevron overlay. So let's go ahead and get this one open, and I'm going to go ahead and prep my nails real quick. Now I'm going to go ahead and layer my yellow, and I'm going to match it up and see where I want it to go exactly. So there's a couple different things I want to do. So I'm going to first go ahead and start with this. Now there's two different ways you can do this. You can go ahead and layer the yellow on top of your nails and then do your chevron with your pink later, or you can use a docking method where you use a sticky note to kind of stabilize it. So I'm going to go ahead and take this plastic piece off because you don't want to layer with plastic on. And I'm going to use one strip for two nails. So I'm actually going to go ahead and fold it and cut it in half like this. Okay, and I'm going to kind of line it up with my nail to make sure that it fits to the end of my nail, which it does. So I'm going to find the sticky part. Okay, so I'm going to layer it like this to where this is the end of the nail. Okay, so next we're going to take the pink, and we're going to do the same thing, get the right size. I'm actually going to get a bigger size. I'm going to take the plastic off of this, and then what I'm wanting is a triangle that goes this direction. So we're going to have to play with this a little bit to try to get the right shaped triangle. Could have possibly gotten a little bit bigger punch than what I have, but I'm basically using the end of the nail and making sure that I have enough of the chevron punch for it. Another thing I could do, now that I think about it, to give a little extra room towards the end, is I could also cut it in half. I think this is going to be a better method. So let's cut it in half. I want the chevron to be this way. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on the end of my sticky note and slip it through here. Try to get it as even in the middle as I can. I'm going to bring the punch up to where it's just touching it, so I make sure it's in the right spot before I fully snip. Okay? There we go. So I got a perfect little triangle out of that. I'm going to use my wooden cuticle stick to get that pink off of the backing. like so. Then we're going to decide how far up we really want the chevron on the nail strip. So we're going to just position it kind of where we want it. And then we're going to go ahead and layer the strip like we normally would. Now when smoothing this out, you want to be careful to go in the direction that the point is. That way whenever you're touching the pink, that way you are not pulling it up. So just be very careful when you are smoothing down that you're not going to pull that tip up. So let's go ahead and tuck it here. And then we're going to get this bit of excess off of the yellow on this side over here. For the time being, I'm just going to tuck it under like so, and then we will work on another design. So this time I'm going to layer the blue, and then I'm going to do a touch of yellow and a touch of pink. So with the neon sets, they have this covering, and that is just to protect them from the sun so that they don't fade, because neon, no matter what kind of neon you have, if it's regular nail polish, if it's done in the salon, if it's done in the color street, neon tends to fade faster in the sun. Oh, this blue is so pretty. I really like this. Okay, so I'm going to slide these back in. We're going to work with this for the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and fold my blue in half like so. And I'm going to work with this blue the opposite way. So this is the part that's going to be here, and this is going to be the end of the nail over here. But I'm wanting the V to go this way this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my yellow, and I'm going to go ahead and put it through the punch and get my little yellow strip. I'm going to have to figure out how far down you want that to go. Got my yellow on here, and I'm going to line it up best I can with that blue and then smooth it down. Now if you got a larger triangle punch, you're going to have the angle of the triangle is going to be more wider this way, whereas this one is a smaller triangle, so it has a sharper angle. So just keep that in mind when you're picking out your triangle punch, what kind of angle you're looking for. Okay, so next I'm going to layer the pink. I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the yellow. So I'm going to put it on here, and I'm not going to go quite as far because, oop, other way. I want this part out. I'm not going to go quite as far as I did with the yellow one when layering this pink one. And I might just have to do some cleanup work on the end after. Okay, so grab my pink, get this off. Now I'm going to grab it from the tip again, like this. And we're going to kind of do the same thing. We're going to layer it. You might actually want to grab it from the other side now that I think about it. So we're trying to get the pink lined up in the middle of the yellow. So you're just going to kind of have to watch your angle here. And we are going to have to clean up around the cuticle here because I did punch a little too much. Okay, so you could take your scissors and cut the excess here, or you could wait and clean up with your cuticle stick around the cuticles, whichever way is easier for you. I feel like cutting it ahead of time is going to give a little bit smoother. Have a look. Okay, so let's try this out. And all of this does stay and look a lot better whenever you use your clear as day over it. And that's just going to kind of hold the whole design together. Let's get this blue off. Now we're going to line it up with the cuticle like we normally would. I'm going to smooth down. And again, a larger triangle would produce a more broader base rather than being quite as pointy as this is. So it just kind of depends on your preference for that. Okay, so that's it so far. I'm going to do one other look over here, and then I'm going to do solids on my pointer and my thumbnail over here. And then we'll file them down and make them look all pretty. I'm just going to tuck and leave them. Since they're solids, they tend to shrink a little bit. So I like to kind of leave them tucked under for 5 to 10 minutes just to let them do a little bit of that. And I also, a lot of times, do enjoy taking another alcohol prep pad and going over it afterwards, and it helps that shrinkage process speed up a little bit. Let's do our last color. I have some pink and blue, so I guess that's what colors we're going to use. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to make a negative space manicure. So I think I'm going to do my blue first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a point. I'm going to use my sticky note. I am going to make a point on the end of this, and I need to make sure that it's going to be a pretty high point because I do want it to not go down my nail pretty far. All right, so I'm kind of bringing it to where the white is, and then I'm just going to pull it back a little bit. I think that'll work. We're about to find out. Okay. That's probably a little bit more than I wanted, but that's okay. We'll work with it. So I got that nice and smooth. And I'm going to actually leave it for just a minute because I'm going to be taking off the side piece, and it's going to come down to a really nice point, and it's going to want to move. So I don't want to leave it too long, because if you leave it too long, this part over here starts to dry, and it's really hard to poke through when it's dry. But you want it dry enough to stick to the nail a little bit whenever you come into the cuticle with your pointer, anytime you're dealing with something fragile on the edge. So I'm just going to leave it for a few minutes before I clean it up. Okay, so now we're going to have to figure out how to get that point. All right, I think it'll be fine doing like that. Okay, so I'm going to put it on my sticky note again, feed it through. I'm going to get it all the way to the end so I can use as much of the triangle as I can. Okay, so we're going to need the triangle piece. That one came up really easy. So we're going to want to grab it from the base, and we're going to want to line it up in the center of the blue one. And you can pull this out more, you can bring it up further, however you'd like to do it. I'm just creating a little bit of negative space there, like so, so that you have that space there that's just going to be clear. Okay, so if you look, when I push this, see, I don't know if you can see it moving, but the side piece right here is moving, and you don't want that, so I will let it sit a little bit longer, and then I will take that off. So I'm going to go ahead and do my pinky and my thumbnail real quick, and I'm just going to do those in solid colors, and then I'm going to come back and do my second hand here. So here we are. Final results are in. They look much better once they were filed up and clear coated with clear as day. So this was really more to show you different things that you could do with a chevron shape rather than showing you a full manicure look. Now granted, this looks just fine and a little bit funky for a full manicure shape, but it shows you just various different things that you can do with punches, and that specifically in this time the triangle punch. So experiment a little bit with stuff. It takes a little bit of practice makes perfect, and also different size punches are going to result in different looks. So go out there and be creative.